What advice would I give someone who's in their first bear cycle, been DCA and Hex the last few months, few stakes, hold liquid PulseChain, or continue to create stakes? What do you think, Honey Jim?
Well, what's the reason for the stake? The stake to me is helping the psychology of the person that made the stake. That's helping. I'm not saying that, the ROI as far as the number of hex on hex return that you might get, if it's a short stake of a month or 6 months or whatever, unless you're putting significant capital in now at today's price of 4 cents or whatever it is, unless you're putting really significant capital, a short stake probably in your mind doesn't have the same reward that you're looking for in crypto, right? Speculatively. So a longer stake would have higher return, and it is more of a promise to yourself that the staking protocol helps me with in something that's so volatile as cryptocurrency. So when he's saying something about advice about a first bear cycle is when if you bought real estate, the day after you closed, you didn't start seeing what the price was on your real estate you just bought. You had a 4 or 5% entrance cost because of all the closing and overhead of documentation with government and all these things like that to protect your claim for the real estate. But you're not actually usually trying to flip it, the day after closing and have a profit. So bear cycles help. In crypto, things move so fast and are so volatile because you can, have buyer's remorse 10 minutes after you bought something, and you can have FOMO 10 minutes after you sold that same thing. Your psychology is not tempered by a contract. Hex has a contract that can help temper your psychology, your investment thesis.
I really think internalizing proof of weight has been helpful too. It's just think about it. I don't know who is buying Hex for short-term gains. The whole idea is you don't have to trade. You can lock it up and wait and get paid more. And the price tends to go up. So proof of weight, if you can internalize that. I think a lot of people, they say, oh yeah, I get it, I understand. Do you really understand though? Like I think the bear market's a good time to reflect, look at your finances, look at the decisions you made in the past, weigh them. Were they good? Were they bad? What would you do better? This is a time to prepare for the next cycle, because if you look back at the chart, no crystal ball, look back at the chart, things go up and down, and that's just how the markets work and pretty much everything. So this is a good time to build, as the last bear market chant was, and understand Hex is proof of weight. You mentioned the short stakes too. I wanted to ask, if you look at Whale Hex, I don't know if you follow them, but they post all significant crazy Hex up and downs, huge amounts of Hex being bought, sold, and stakes ending and things. What are the strategies for doing short stakes? You see people doing like 50 million, 60 million Hex for 15 days, 5 days, even 30 days. What do you think are going through people's mind? What are advantages, disadvantages of that?
I could speculate that they might be waiting for PulseChain, and they want to be relative. They want to have yield 30 days on 50 million staked or whatever. Maybe that's, I don't know what that would be, 15 grand a month or something. I don't know what it would. I have to do the math or show it on the Staker app or whatever. But let's say it's 15 grand a month. So they're earning something. They're not, you can look and see on their wallet if they actually are selling that yield into the marketplace every month, or they're just stacking more Hex in a liquid position when it comes mature. Maybe they're stacking. And there is a narrative that some people believe that they want to push the price of P-Hex when a bridge exists. And so maybe that's part of their strategy, is that they're going to bridge over Hex, the Ethereum Hex, to be part of the liquidity stabilization at parity, or that they're going to trade wrapped Ethereum Hex on PulseChain. They're going to trade it to push the price of either P-Hex or PulseChain or PulseX, and they're still going to play those games. You have to look at their stake. You have to look at their wallet. Like Silver, the Antidote, does so well when he does really focus on an address. He says, this is more of a short-term yield guy. This is more of a long-term stake and reward guy. This is more of a trader, you know, a day-to-day trader, just, you know, paying attention to chart guy. Like he'll look at the psychology of who's operating that address. So it depends on why they would be long versus short staking.
Yeah, I've seen such a diversity in numbers of these short, big stakes. You'll see 5 days and 10 days. Then you'll see 20 days and 30 days and 45 days. And I'm just thinking, is it all just people guessing about when PulseChain launch is going to happen, or is there something, you know, something else I'm missing?
Yeah, I think, and again, if you see, are they selling it the yield whenever a stake matures? Like you can see if they actually are putting something into Uniswap or anything like that to see if it's actually trading out into a different position or a different coin.